entire village looks abandoned. Now, which house would a bookworm live in? This is a Royal Army logbook. Did he take this from the local barracks? His interests were certainly varied. This is it. But if what it says is true, I need to get this back to the hideaway.
Leaving so soon, stranger? We've been watching you. From a distance.
Subtle. I know who you are.
Then we need not waste time on introductions. Hand me the book. Leave it in our care and return to your life.
Your care? Do you mean to burn it, or bury it?
That is not my decision to make. But by one means or another, its contents shall be removed from the common record.
Then I'll have to politely refuse. I won't let you erase our history.
Then we find ourselves at an impasse. Very well. The book can just as easily be pried from your dead hand.
Let's see, shall we?
Impressive. But we have other means. We shall claim the book yet.
Why do you want it so badly anyway?
It lays out in no uncertain terms the vanity and avarice of mankind. It tells the shameful history of... Would you say that this interpretation was correct?
I don't know.
You don't know. Your sword may be sharp, but your wits are dull. So let me answer for you. There is no correct interpretation of history. That a series of events took place may be proved beyond a doubt. It is a question of numbers, and of if enough people believe that a set of events occurred for a reason.
So you're trying to control the truth?
We are trying to protect from knowledge that would bring them naught but pain. That is all. You may keep the book, for now. The world is small. But until then...
Wait. Damn it. Let's get this back to Vivian. Perhaps she can explain what that was all about. Uncle, I bring good news. The Field Marshal has agreed to your plan.
Ha! Of course he has. I didn't doubt you for a moment, dear boy.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Porter's Alder as we speak. They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other? Who, exactly?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution.
One of your co-conspirators?
Master Quinton would probably call me one of his.
Another outlaw. Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier. Eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quinton can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain.
Oh, don't you worry. The 7 high houses will be seeing to. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion, but luckily I had some unexpected help.
From who?
Why, you, my boy.
It was more of a handful.
Well, the old battle axe was so pleased. She had a shipload of talents delivered, and when the other houses saw...
I'm happy to hear it.
Now, I must be getting back to the manor. Join us there at your earliest convenience.
Of course, Uncle.
And how, pray tell?
Well, you'll find another bloody road. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. They'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If I may, perhaps I might suggest an alternative approach. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. 2 such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond.
Us? Friends?
I can't...
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company you expect?
Criminal? How dare you? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this... Fine.
Upstanding. He calls himself Sid the Bloody Outlaw.
Once more onto the breach.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current storm. And to do that, we must convince those in power. There will be disagreements, yes. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in our...
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by... Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Triunity. Rutherford, Mike Will. Well, my boy, the stage is set.
that it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents of your supporting cast. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities, that you might have the opportunity to shine. The realm needs its Sir Crandall. I want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
I will. Thank you, Uncle.
What do you think that thing is? And how the hell is Sid going to do it?
Vivian, I found it. The book you lost.
You found it. Thank you, Clive. Even though I asked this of you, I was not entirely sure it would be possible. I feared the executors had seized
I met with one of these executors, and I convinced him. He told me something. That the truth is just a matter of collective belief, and that if enough people believe a lie...
It does. But it also means that the truth is not immutable, provided that those who wish to change it can convince enough people that their perspective, as the sad history of the bearers proves.
You said that the book inspired you to become a scholar.
It did. Or its author, rather. She was a heretic, you see. A gallows stood ready for her in every corner of the realm. And by shunning society, or perhaps being shunned by it, I, too, have always felt somehow set apart from the world of men. A stranger to my own species. She taught me that my solitude was not a curse, but a gift. And that, though my journey to the truth might be a lonely one, what I found at my destination would be more than worth the cost.
Do you still feel that way?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure anymore. Since coming to the Hideaway, perhaps the result of studying mankind from a rather... But the more I study, the more I find value in this perspective. In looking not from the outside. So if you'll permit me, remember, Clive. When enough people believe, give the men and women of this benighted world the gift of truth.
I'll try, Vivian.
Sid, I was wondering if you could help me.
It depends what with.
A bearer, but recently freed from his bonds, is keen to join the Curse Breakers. As you know, the work we do is not easy.
I don't mind, but why this one?
Because he wants to be a scout. Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of breaking chains and putting slavers to the sword. But scouting? We're few with the nose for that, which is why we still rely so heavily on Gav. And since he accompanies you on so many of your missions...
Sounds reasonable.
So you're happy to oversee the boys' test, then?
One can never have too many scouts.
Truer words, Sid. I'll let the initiate know that you'll be attending his trial, and that he is to proceed directly to Northreach in readiness.
No time like the present, eh?
No time like the present. I'll await you there.
Northreach. I don't suppose they could have chosen somewhere closer.
Sid, do you have a moment?
By all means.
It's my old master, and something else. Records from a Waluda prison.
How did she come by such a thing?
Finding bearers always was her strong point, and it seems the cells of Balmung Dark are full of them. And even better for her.
Leaving the bearers to be liberated by whoever happens.
Sid, I'd like to believe that I've earned your trust by now. And while I'm well aware that you've forbidden Curse Breakers from traveling to Walud, I can't let those bearers die in their cells.
We'll be needing the Enterprise if we're going to navigate the Narrow.
Does that mean...
I'm making an exception, and we stay no longer than we have to.
Thank you, Sid. Chadwick. Another of my former master's protégés. The thought of him held captive in that place.
He must be very important to you.
He was.
Then we find him.
The entrance to the prison lies in the shadow of Ravenwit Wall. We should head there as quickly as we can.
As do I, Doc. Joshua, what's wrong? And don't say nothing.
I've received word from Cyril.
His will? How?
In the crypt, beneath Rosalith Castle, after Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, and in the process of doing so,
I'm surprised anything survived done.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience.
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well.
Good girl. Run like the wind. That'll do, girl. Oh, its madness lives on. Nice try. Rest in peace. Doris is waiting for me near Balmung Dark. The longer she's out in the open, the more likely she is to be found by a Kashik. I need to hurry. There were no guards, I take it.
None manning the gates, no. It's a different story inside, though. The corridors are crawling with Akashic. Most likely guards left behind when the Wardens ran. If Chadwick was being held here, I worry that he may already be.
Don't give up hope just yet, but let's move quickly. Let me check the ground floor. The ether stick is there.
Then I'll search the upper level. Good luck, Sid. Stay safe.
Just how bad are the floods inside the walls? Bad enough to turn a bearer? I hope not. We're locked up tight. So this place was no ordinary prison, and I doubt they'll have taken the creature with them when they fled. This one. They were feeding bearers to it. Minimal loss of Waluda lives. Even the Imperials take better care of them. Nothing but a Kashik down here. Hopefully things are looking better upstairs. I should go and see how Doris is getting on. No lock downstairs.
I know. I've been reading some of these documents, and bearers die every day in service of their masters. Pitting bearers against a wild beast, armed with nothing but their wits. And not just those who could fight, and those who wouldn't, or couldn't, were disposed of.
I'm afraid it means they were fed to the monstrosity they kept here.
Then we're too late.
Don't say that. Did you find anything else?
A key.
Perhaps it will fit one of the doors downstairs. Finish up here.
All right. I'll be there in a moment.
and find down here. Survivor. She sounds close.
Who are you?
There's no need to be afraid. Are you alone? Are there any other survivors?
Some of the guards. They're still here. But something's wrong with them. Everyone else was...
Of course there were.
Thank the Founder.
It was worth our coming. But I'd rather we didn't linger.
Ready when you are. You poor thing. He must have been terrified.
Did Chadwick send you?
What?
He fought the monster. He must have sent you. Where is he? He opened your cell, didn't he?
Chadwick.
Was that?
Monster's back!
We have to get out of here.
Doris.
All right. You put that bearer...
It's out there waiting for me. I can't let it live. Not if it's got a taste for bearers. Finally.
Sid, are you hurt?
I'm fine. What is it?
A diary. I gave it to Chadwick before we went our separate ways. He was here. Do you think that creature?
I'm sure he fought bravely to the last. The girl is safe thanks to him.
Chadwick.
Come on. We have to get her back to the hideaway.
No. Of course not. I'll see that she's looked after from now on. It's the least I can do.
From what I hear, you've barely left the girl's side in days.
She is. I thank the flames we found her.
I know. But we did. I'm sorry we weren't able to save Chadwick.
There's no need to apologize. Without your help, how he fought to the bitter end to save her. That's the man I remember.
I wish I could have met him. I'd like to hear more about your past.
Of course, you already met my former master. We were supposed to be sold to the highest bidder when the time came. For years, we were her daggers in the shadows, so we escaped. But staying together was out of the question after so many years of training.
But even in captivity, the battles he fought, and he died not as someone's tool.
Haida Marie is proof of that, and the curse breakers will show them how. I'll fight until my dying breath.
Thank you, Doris.
There's something about him.
It's usually me making demands of help. Lawsman Harpocrates. I received your note.
Ah, yes. I expect you're wondering what this is all about.
You spoke of making amends with Dion.
Then I should begin by telling you that I was once his tutor. This was some years ago, of course. At that time, I was counted among the foremost scholars to supervise the young prince's education, all to ensure that the future emperor had a firm grounding in, alas, our time together was cut short. I had not expected to meet with him again.
Have you spoken with him?
No, His Highness always seems so not when I know he dwells upon the evil Ultima had him commit in the Dominion.
The guilt weighs heavily on him, I know.
When I first met him, it was not guilt, and I did nothing to ease that burden. It is one of my greatest regrets, when what he truly needed, the blame for Dion's transgressions.
I see. I'm ready to help you in any way that I can.
Then I beg that you bring me apothecaries across the ages agree. Fabulists and fraudsters all, of course. But there is oft a sea.
Well, it can't hurt to try. Where can I find this flower?
You have seen cultivated wyvern tails before, I trust. Well, there is a waterfall in Rickmal's Roost across the strait. Whether they still survive there, I know not.
It's all right.
Thank you, Clive. And
Nazaire might at least have mentioned where in Northreach he'd be testing this recruit.
Oh, no.
Well met, Sid. This is the initiate. Ember, present yourself.
At your service, Master.
Please, just Sid.
Oh, of course. Thank you, Sid.
To become a scout, yes.
I am. But I swore I'd face them. Just like the man who saved my life.
Who would that be?
Gav. It was him who found me and freed me. No magic, no support, just one man. It taught me what one man can do. And I've been training ever since.
I'm sure he'd be flattered. You clearly have good intentions.
So, what? Have I passed?
You haven't even started yet. Not far. And bring it here.
And bring it...
No. Sneaking into a heavily guarded Imperial outpost and stealing the logbook would be quite sufficient. You'll need to assess the situation. All without being discovered and thrown into an Imperial...
Ember. Gav isn't our best scout because he can do everything.
Know my limits. Right. I won't let you down.
On my way. All right, Ember. Trust me.
Ready, go? Fly, Ambrosia.
All right. These are clean kills. Perhaps young Ember really is ready. Or maybe not. Damn it.
Ember, draw your sword!
I can't!
Then run!
If you want him, you'll have to go through... Get him! Ember, are you... Gone. Of course. Scouts really are a rare breed. Back to Northreach it is then.
The garrison said they'd take another 100.
I didn't expect you back so soon. Where is Ember? How did he fare?
I thought I'd find him with you. He must have fled. I followed him to Eastwatch, where I found him being set upon by a wild Avis. He was just standing there. Didn't even draw his sword. I had to step in and take care of things. But by the time I had, he was nowhere to be seen. I assumed he'd set off in your direction, but apparently not.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sid. I knew the boy had a nervous streak, but he seemed like...
The right man for the job? I believe this is the logbook you tasked me with retrieving.
Hey? How did you... Don't you tell me you breached the tower while Sid was busy saving your skin.
What? Wasn't that what you asked me to do? To bring the thing back without getting caught?
He has you there, Nazaire. And he did it all on his own.
But Sid, he
did what he thought was best. And now I have to decide whether I agree.
Of course. We'll await your evaluation back at the hideaway. Don't you leave my sight.
Yes, Sergeant.
This won't be an easy decision.
I haven't seen any of those beastly blue eyes.
Do be careful.
I will.
Straight home now.
Outlaw! The one who drove His Highness to madness on your knees!
He hasn't heard. And it doesn't look like he's willing to listen.
Your Grace, my lord. Cyril, you found a letter from Father? Yes, I have it here. If you would do us the honor, my lord.
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of? His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill. The complete emancipation of bearers is their stated aim. But your father's dream did not end there. With the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins, he wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his life. But he thought it achievable, nor would he have entrusted his vision to those who would have stood with you.
It's a pity only they are still...
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father, but one at least remains.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she explain, my lord. After all, the duties and... And where is this woman? She awaits you in the archive, Your Grace. Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
My lord, Your Grace. I hardly recognize you. I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield. Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift.
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude.
I merely did my duty.
My lady, perhaps you could explain a little more what exactly is the gift you bring?
As I'm sure you know.
Indeed it has.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Matching armband, alas. He did not live. And he had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished himself. But it was not to be.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you, as they are. It was your father's, but with his grace long since gone, and the stone left unclaimed. I had little choice. You are grown men now, and while I would not presume to insist upon your claim, I know that nothing would have pleased him.
Thank you, Lady Goditha.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady.
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this Heartstone, my lady?
I do. It is found in the bellies of elder griffins. We do at least know where to find one.
A certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, In fact, this is the very same beast. Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rock?
What say you, Joshua?
What else?
Faster! Eyes peeled, Joshua.
There it is.
For House Rosfield. Fire and flame! Too slow. Oh.
Nice try. To me, boy.
Is this the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Goditha will know.
Oh, thank the Founder you were safe. The Griffin is slain.
And the Heartstone claimed.
Yes, this radiant luster like frozen flame. It is just as your father described it. Thank you, my lord. Your Grace, your father would be so proud.
Lady Goditha.
Thank you, Cyril. I will be with him shortly. If you would excuse me, I shall have the stone cut and set forthwith. The armbands are complete. Pray. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet, or even ruby. It symbolizes unwavering will and devotion. And the graven vines encircling the stone represent the unbreakable bonds between you.
It's a message. Enemies who would thwart his vision.
And only if we stood together, as Phoenix and Shield.
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity of the task he would entrust to you, but this was more than just a message. It was a promise.
Thank you, Lady Goditha, for
Forgive me, my lady, but there is something I don't quite understand. The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would surely not have overlooked them. So...
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly servant, your father spoke to me of his intentions for the bands, of the deep love he had for both of you, and his hopes for your future. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I tried to warn your father, but it was too late.
Thank the Founder you did.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not knowing what else to do, I followed the Griffin, thinking I might claim the Heartstone on its passing. And so my pursuit continued, until Lord Cyril appeared before me. He informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered, and that his sons were alive and well.
Lady Goditha, on behalf of my father and all the people of Rosaria.
As do I.
Thank you, my lord, for coming back to us, for giving my service meaning.
The bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally receive the inheritance that was denied you for so long.
It is.
If you would permit me to play my part a little longer, might I suggest that you make your way to your father's memorial atop Hawk's Cry Cliff? Let him see that you have received his blessing, and that...
I suppose it would be churlish not to. What do you say, Clive? Shall we pay Father a visit?
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks before we left for Origin.
Your father's helm is enshrined there. Since the day we recovered it from Phoenix Gate, I prithee claim it. For it too is and I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive.
Good girl. Run like the wind.
Unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
To save the world? Of course. To have overcome Father's political enemies? Of that I'm less certain. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. But perhaps these bands would have helped. Knowing he was with...
It's just back there. Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, he was the greatest of men. And I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
What he would have done himself. Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us as we follow in your footsteps.
We won't lay you down.
Onward then.
Onward. To the end.
And to a new beginning.
come on.
Brother.
Seems this place has been flooded twice over. Purple flowers blooming next to a waterfall. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Here they are. Might as well pick enough for a bunch, I suppose.
You should have seen.
Welcome back, Sid.
Welcome back, Sid.
Yes. Welcome back. Truth be told, it was me who suggested roping you in to help with the trial. But from what I hear, things didn't go quite as planned.
No. Ember lost his nerve, but he didn't lose heart.
Indeed it is. The fact remains, however, that all I have gleaned from this trial is that without...
Wait, Sergeant. Ember still... And this time he was found wanting. After all, he did do as you asked.
With a bit of hard work, any hand can be made to hold a blade. But a scout's nose is different. You've either got one, and by sniffing out that log, wouldn't do to waste it now, would it?
Fine.
I'll do whatever you ask. I'll spend my days and nights in the pit if I have to. I'll show you. Just...
Duff. Just like someone else we know. And if you ask me, that time the curse breakers took some of the weight off his shoulders, I reckon. Just don't tell Gav I said so, will you? I won't have him thinking. Next thing you know, chance would be a fine thing.
Forgive me, Sid.
Things rarely do these days. But that's why we need men like Ember more than ever. Remember that.
I will, Sid. Thank you.
There's something about him.
Oarsman, I found the flowers you were looking for.
You did?
I think I did.
You did indeed.
You wanted to make Dion a gift of one, did you not? Shall I invite him to join us?
Oh, I don't...
It's no trouble. I'll go and fetch him. Your Highness.
Now. It is time.
No. Only to the shelves. Our lawsman has something he'd like to give you.
Master Harpocrates. No. I dare not show my face before him, not after everything I have done. I have taken countless innocent lives, all because I was weak. I have sworn to atone for my crimes or die in the attempt. But were I to meet with him again, and see in his eyes what I have become, I fear that my resolve...
Then that is all the more reason to do it. Test your resolve. Prove to yourself, and to him.
I must, at the very least, offer him my gratitude. Very well, then.
Follow me.
Even now, I hesitate to approach him. What must he think of me?
You'd be surprised.
Master Harpocrates, pray, accept my apologies for leaving your tutelage before my studies were complete. Your lessons opened my mind to a world quite unlike the one I had imagined from within the gilded confines of the palace. And I shall be forever grateful for the efforts you made to enlighten me.
Lift up your head, Your Highness. The deeds of youth require no apology. That you took the time to visit me says much about the man you have become. Now, there is something I would like to show you.
Is that a wyvern tail? The color is unfamiliar to me.
Because it is unique to those found in the wild. Something in the harsh environments in which they grow lends them this striking hue. Their roots are indistinguishable from those of their hothouse cousins, but once they bloom, the difference is immediately apparent. In this flower, I see you, Your Highness. Its roots were the roots of a wyvern tail, with all that implies. But they do not define it, just as yours do not define you. I want you to have it, that it might remind you of this truth.
Master Harpocrates, I would ask of you a service. Keep your gift until I have fulfilled my duty to the realm, for only then shall I be deserving of it.
As you wish, Your Highness. I shall await your return.
Our roots do not define us. No wonder my stepmother didn't like him. For reuniting me with memories I had thought long lost. I shall not forget this.
Thank you, Clive. Were it not for you, not to mention the wyvern tail.
I hope the soil in the hideaway is to their liking.
Why, these flowers bloomed in the bleak black... When it comes to expressing one's gratitude, I find that words are seldom sufficient. Here.
What's this?
A stolas quill, or more precisely, it is said that an owl's feathers, so consider this, that one day you may put down your sword.
Well, when that day comes, thank you, Harpocrates.
You all right?
Something troubling you?
No more than usual. It's just... Edda's baby will be coming soon and...
I'm sure she'd like that.
Back in the north. Yeah, I'll let the little tykes know they were welcome in their new homes like...
So, what's the problem?
Well, the problem is that Edda's due any day now.
Is there anything I can do to help?
You know, they're just...
All right then. What exactly are we making?
A good luck charm.
Not just any.
No. One made from the feather of a silver chocobo. There's naught lucky and all. Thing is, they're hard to come by.
Only the big day is fast approaching.
That or the bird whose horse it's attached to, aye.
Well, there's no shortage of those passing through Martha. I think I might make that my first port of call.
You're a good friend, Clive.
If Joshua's worried about Jill... Josh, I don't think I'd realized how different, but...
I suppose it's not hard to imagine why.
She doesn't think she belongs anymore.
And that's why we need to remind her she is still one of us, and to let her know that we still need her. But how to do that? When last...
Of course. Do you remember the time we accompanied Father on his annual tour of the Duchy, and Jill and I broke from the procession to ride up Man...
To see the snow daisies. It was the first time Father had allowed us to join him. And when he realized you were missing, he...
In the rain. It was the Lord Commander who finally found us, and
Then it seems you and Jill have unfinished business.
Man's Hill. It's not that far.
Oh, true. Though I suspect it is also much changed.
You're saying I should go and scout the area for bandits?
I'm saying... we... What would you do without me, Clive?
something happened to...
Sid! You...
With what? You didn't take apart another of Mid's...
No! Well...
It's Miss Midadol. Very strange. She's barely ever...
When she is...
In the cloud.
That's what I said.
Well, she does have a lot on her mind.
Not long ago.
Then it's probably just about the Enterprise. It did take quite a battering on the way there and back.
You didn't break it, did you, Sid? Oh, don't listen to her. Even if you did break the Enterprise, you could put it back.
But who's gonna put Miss Midadol back together?
Why don't I go and see if I can cheer her up?
You do that? For us?
Don't scare him. It's not a real dungeon.
Thanks for the warning. Mid, if you have a...
If this doesn't steer to the skies, nothing will.
To the skies? You aren't trying to give the Enterprise wings, are you?
What else would I be doing?
The children seem to think you're avoiding them. Is this really so important that you need to shut yourself away from it?
The Enterprise is already the fastest ship in the... But what if she weren't bound to the waves? It's not fair. The gods get the skies all to themselves, so the Fallen had their chance, but not me. I've discovered how to do it without. Well, almost. First I need...
And is that a one-woman job?
Are you volunteering? I'll have you know the Enterprise is my baby. But if her godfather's offering to lend a hand, first I'll need oil, and not just some old drippings from Miss Molly's spitzing. Then I'll need some bone, or shell. Like...
If it's beast bones you're after, I'm sure the curse breakers will know where you might...
No, they'll know where you might find some. You're the one who offered to help, remember?
I should speak with one of the curse breakers before I set off for all. Hill. See if I can't find this bone while I'm there as well.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
All right, Sid. Come to buy us around, have you?
Only if you earn it. Mid needs a piece of light but durable bone for her.
Most bones are the same. Whack 'em. If it's durability you're looking for, shell will serve you better. You know what an...
I do. And I know to give them... Will any old adamantus do?
Well, with shells, the older the harder. But don't expect to make quick work of the bastard.
I'll keep that in mind. Mid's oil. After what happened here, it's a miracle there was any left at all. This should be enough. Run like the wind. No holding back. Here we are again. Carava. If you were a tortoise, Torgal, where would you hide? Looks like we found him. Materials to Mid so she can finish her prototype. This is the place, but...
I'm sorry, Clive.
There's nowhere been spared.
We keep looking. Man's Hill cannot be the only place where snow daisies...
Perhaps, but it's the only place I know of.
Then why not ask someone who might know of another?
Someone at the backyard. To the hideaway, then. Let's hope one of the merchants here has what Gav needs. Excuse me.
Oh, well, then I'm your man.
A silver chocobo feather.
Oh, or maybe not. Though there was a man stopped by the rest not long ago, claiming near some gutted hovel not far. Most took him for a braggart and a liar.
We'll see. Thank you.
Anything catch your eye? Much obliged. Fare thee well.
Just because the heavens have gone to rack and ruin.
How do, Trav? You've the look of a man who could do with a new whetstone.
Maybe another... I'm looking for a silver chocobo feather.
If that's the case. Room, no one has seen a silver chocobo for a year. Word is, they were all hunted for their feathers. If any are still out there...
You're probably right.
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
Can I help you with something?
You wouldn't happen to sell silver chocobo feathers, would you?
I deal in fruit, not if it's fancy.
Was a silver chocobo seen there?
Oh, yes.
It wouldn't be the first time. A silver chocobo sighted in the hills near Rio. That's right. It sounds almost too good to be true. But since I'm already here...
Can hardly make it.
scientists for a change. What? The Chocobo was here. I don't hear anything. Well, I'll be damned. It's all right. I'm just borrowing a feather from my... Thank you. Let's get this back together. Let's hope one of the gardeners knows where to find snow daisies.
It was no trouble.
Clive, you're back. How'd you get on? Any luck?
Any luck, you say?
Crystal's crack. Where in the hell did you find it?
It's a long story.
Right there on the road to Eastpool. Who'd have thought it?
Everything up there's been abandoned for years. The empty cabin made for the perfect shelter.
Don't blame yourself, Clive. The Blight's right on Eastpool's doorstep. They'll find a new home. Trust me. After all, that's what us endangered animals do. Anyway, what matters is, you managed to nick us one of their quills before they could run off. And now all that's left is to fix it to the carving.
I didn't know you could carve.
Reckon there's a lot you don't know about me. Like the fact I'm as good with a whittling knife as I am with a sword. And that bone Ember gave me's a dream to work with.
But it weren't your ravis, Sid. I slew one of my own.
So all those long nights in the pit finally bore fruit.
Don't speak too soon. I ain't done my trial yet.
There we go. What do you think?
I think if you ever hang up your scouting cap, you'll be able to make an honest living.
Now will I? I should go and see if Ed is awake.
Give it my best.
You can give it to yourself. Come on.
Say what you will. Maybe Karen has seen much.
Oh. What brings you down from the heavens, Sid?
I need your advice. Joshua and I are looking for a place where snow daisies grow. Preferably in abundance.
Snow daisies. Then you'll want somewhere not too hot and not too cold. And where the winds are strong enough to carry the seeds. I reckon Man's Hill would be a good place to start. There in the Royal Meadows, perhaps? Both have similar climbs and the right elevation. If the Blight hasn't claimed them yet.
Right. Thank you.
Did you learn where we might find our flowers?
The gardener here mentioned the Royal Meadows in December.
Ah, the fields beyond Northreach. I recalled that she kept a record of... So I asked her if she'd perhaps noted anywhere...
Whose shores border the meadows.
Miss Shirley says your book's made wet.
Mid, tell me this is all you need.
Aw, you make it sound like I asked you to save the world or something.
Tell me this is all you need.
It's most of what I need.
And
Gear's that smaller a bastard to make, and I may have lost the one Blackthorn spent a fortnight toiling over.
wait. The children. Now that I think about it,
The young'uns? But why would the... You know what? I'll keep working on the model. You go and find that cog.
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
Sid! Is Mid still hiding from us?
She wasn't hiding. She's just busy working on her next project.
A new invention? Is it an airship?
Do you think she'll let us help?
That just so happens to be why I'm here. A brass gear. A tiny one.
Oh, the one you forgot!
We saved it, just in case.
Since your lesson, we've all the pieces that are left over. We keep under...
That's good to know.
Look! I found it! Is that all?
That's all for now.
Thanks, Sid.
Well, did they have it?
They did.
Will it work? It's perfect! You're a genius, Clive.
What exactly are you going to use it for?
Only the most important job of all. The wings aren't going to move on their own. But with the right cog in the right place, well, you just wait and see. That should do it. Here goes nothing. Titan's tits.
It wasn't supposed to fly, was it?
Of course it was supposed to fly. Wouldn't be much of an airship if it didn't. Honestly, these bloody engines are driving me mad. I was so sure this would be the day she soared. The Mithril engine was made to make dreams come true. But maybe this is one dream the world's better off without. Show folk how to take flying. It won't be long till they're raining death down on each other. People will lose their homes, children, their mums and their dads. Like I lost mine.
I'm sorry.
So am I, Clive. So am I. Sorry that I have to choose. Do I follow my head, or do I follow my heart?
Good question. The first time I stood on the deck of your ship, felt the wind in my hair. It was like I was flying. But imagine how it would feel to actually do it.
My dad always said there were two ways of living life. Chasing a dream or shuffling to your grave. And he were right. Right about a lot of things. Not that I like to admit it. People need dreams to chase. Especially in a world like this. Right. When this is over, I'm gonna take all my mithril engines to Zemeckis and sling them over the edge. I won't have my dream end up turning into someone else's nightmare.
But all that hard work...
All that hard work will not be used for war, Jamie. But it ain't like it'll be gone. Tell me, Clive, have you ever been on a treasure hunt?
Not since Joshua and I were boys. Why do you ask?
Because I'm gonna bury the engine schematics and leave behind a little riddle telling people where to find them. A really hard one, so that only the most dedicated dreamers will ever be able to work it out. Ooh, I can picture it now. Some daft general squinting at the words with a gormless expression on his mug. Like that one, yeah.
Right.
Of course, if I'm putting this engine at the end of a treasure hunt, won't be much of a prize if it couldn't even make a toy boat fly after all. My dad always said, dream big. But it ain't the size of a dream that's important, is it, Clive? Only that it's a good one. And I reckon I've got a fair few good uns left in me.
I'm sure you do.
I will not let them be forgotten. Sid, may I have a moment?
Of course.
It is an honor to finally speak with you. My name is Herman. I wish to be deployed to Ash.
No. I will not send good men and women to risk that. Why would you want to go back?
I need to retrieve something. I was raised in an orphanage. Or rather, it was not a place of nurture. We were tortured, and few ever survived long enough.
I can't imagine.
I lost so many, but they must be remembered. The Institute was run. Sid.
You were a good friend, Herman. But the fact remains that...
Sid, please.
Too dangerous for you. I'll go to Bad Bach and find the registry.
You will?
I won't let you risk your...
I don't know how to thank you.
You can start by telling me where I'll find this orphanage.
Vida Grace.
All right.
May the mothers guide you.
Do you suppose it's magic? Thing afloat.
What else could it be?
Me lords.
How are you feeling?
Well, thank you. Is...
Wrong? No, nothing like that.
Go on, please. Did you make it?
We did. It's a good luck charm. I mean, a baby. To let him know that... I hope you like it.
I
I don't know what to say. I thank you, my lord.
If there's anything you need.
I will.
Clive, fancy a swift off? I'm thirsty.
I could be convinced. Don't you think you've had enough?
No, we're celebrating. I'm gonna be a father.
I think Edda might have something to say about that.
You know what I mean. Bit of light in these dark times. Wasn't long after me 10th name day. My mum told us she was with child again. I was over the fucking moon. I was looking forward to having a little one to lord it over. What with me being the runt of the litter. Thought I'd finally have a chance to prove to the world that I could be a big brother. Imperials came the day she went into labour. Had myself a baby sister. And then I didn't. My whole family gone in a blink, while I hid in the cellar like the spineless little arsehole I was. Great brother I turned out to be. I'll never be a leader. And I'll never be a hero. I'm just a daft little dog who comes running when his master calls. I'll never be like you, or Sid, or Jill, or even Torgal.
Have you finished?
Maybe.
Do you know why you're our best scout? Because you don't need anyone to hold your hand. Without your resourcefulness, your courage, your determination, I don't know where we'd be. Maybe hanging off a cliff like,
That was only the once.
Exactly. You learned from it. And here you are after Founder knows how many missions, stronger for everyone. And let's not forget Rosalith. Who was it who freed me from the dungeon? Who was it who ran to Jill's rescue?
That would be me.
Because you're our brother, Gav. My brother.
Your brother.
Which means that when the time comes,
I get your room. And your sword. I may have had one too many.
You may have had 10 too many.
I said I was thirsty. Better get back to work anyway. After I walk this off. Clive?
What is it?
Thanks For, you know.
I know.
Guard dogs. Quite a specimen of his too.
Too slow. No match for you, eh, Torgal? Good girl. No need to ride from here. This must be the orphanage. Hopefully the registry is still here. Conditioning. Disposed of. Herman wasn't exaggerating. This reads like a suicide note. Did the director go through with his plan? There's only one way to find out. Forked white tree. This must be the place. Could he really be buried here? There's something hidden among the roots. Let's see. This must be the registry. So many names. This place was a slaughter. Where is the architect of all this? It was only a matter of time, I suppose. This place is cursed. I'm done here. Let's get the registry back to Herman.
And how might I help the garrison today?
haven't seen any of those beastly blue-eyed...
Do be careful.
I will.
Run like the wind. What?
The meadows are vast. Where do we even start?
Yote mentioned the coastline. We can start there. Look, brother. You see that?
What do you see, boy? Let's hope this is the last one.
Only one way to find
It's over! That was harder than I expected. But found her.
Do you think Jill will like them?
She'll love them.
It appears my work is done. The rest, as they say, is up to you. Well, you and the skies. We wouldn't want another thunderstorm now, would we?
Jill, there's something I'd like to show you.
There is? And where might this something be?
It's, not here. How would you fancy a trip to Oriflamme?
There are so many. This is what you wanted to show me. Yeah,
You don't need to say anything. We've been worried about you. Joshua and I. Do you remember when I took you to Man's Hill? Or tried to?
How could I forget? You saw me crying and thought a change of scenery might lift my spirits. In the end, it earned me a nasty cough and a stern scolding from your mother. But I felt wonderful nonetheless.
I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was getting us both into. But I couldn't bear to see you like that.
Before we left, my chambermaid told me she'd overheard your mother talking about They were debating whether it would be more profitable to marry me off to one of the high houses instead of saving me for the ducal line. No one thought to ask me what I wanted.
I didn't know.
But I wasn't alone. You were there, and I knew then, no matter what, I'll never forget that feeling. Before we broke camp, the morning after the storm, do you know what I did?
No? What?
I slipped away from my governess to climb the tor. And from there I saw a sea of petals, all reaching for the sun. And I realized no matter how terrible the night, dawn would always come. That you would always come for me. And you have. Again and again.
Where do you see us? When all this is over?
I don't know. Not here, though. I think I've outgrown the twins. After everything we've been through, the realm just seems so small. I'll need some space to spread my wings.
Then that's what you'll have. And I'll stop at nothing to see that you do.
I never was much good at garlands, but it'll have to do.
I'll treasure it forever.
Thank you, Clive. For this, the flowers, for everything. It's exactly what I needed. You are my treasure. We should probably be getting back. I expect the others are wondering where we are.
You're right. There's still much to do.
And we'll do it together.
I hear that you traveled to Ash. Did you by any chance
I did.
If I may? The bearer registry. The director was a brutal man.
The registry was all I found beneath the tree. There was no sign of a body.
I pray that at least some of them survived. All their names are here, my friends. My light in those dark times. I can still remember their faces. Children who were taken from their bunks in the morning, never to return. No explanation ever offered.
They'd be happy to know that you survived.
But why did I make it out alive? When so many others died in that awful place.
It's not your fault. See that their names live on.
I'm going to write a book. All of Valisthea, and in the name of those I lost.
Neither will I.
These records would have been buried for all eternity.
And how might I help the garrison today?
Haven't seen any of those beastly blue-eyed...
Do be careful.
I will.
Just the one of you, eh? You deserve a rest. Not another one.
Twinside's hundreds of leagues away. That'd mean the crit.
How may I help you today, Clive? All yours. You earned this. Best of luck out there, Sid.
Still alive, are you? You're rubbing me blind, you know. You'll not find a better price than that. Come again. Or don't. I'm not much bothered either way.
So what do I owe the honour? I'm Sancfordian, do you? Not bad, if I do say so myself. Should last you a good while. Anything else?